interest of our country. For those of you who are going to Europe, you also be representing the interests of Africa. From one ambassador to Nigeria, you also live with your colleagues. So we'll listen to you and we'll interact with you. And from there, we'll make our informed decision. So let me welcome you. You are home. We are from family. We are senators. When we elected us, we will not enemies. So do relax and do your best. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Chair of Gray-Ruhle County. So we do self-introduction. We'll start with our colleague on the first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Senator Thomas Yaya Nimley from Gray-Ruhle County, former Foreign Minister of Liberia and member of this committee.
Albert Ubeche, Gray-Ruhle County, President Pro Tempore Emeritus and member of this committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Edwin Snow, Senator Bombing County, I chair the Committee on Hydrocarbon Energy and Environment. I lead the Liberian delegation of the ECOWAS Parliament, and there I chair the Committee on Political Affairs, Peace, Security, and African Peer Review Mechanism. I'm a ranking member of the Foreign Relations Committee of the Liberian Senate. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Daba Mabane Vapila, Senator of Gray-Ruhle County. I chair the Health Committee and member of the Foreign Committee. Thank you, colleagues. I'm Abraham Darius Dillon, Senator of Musu County, humbled to be, chair on this committee, Foreign Affairs, chair on Information, co-chair on Maritime, member of several committees. Humbled by that. We will now entertain statements from each of the nominees. The Foreign Affairs Committee normally would like to do due diligence and thorough confirmation hearing. So we can stay here all day and continue another day, depending on how long your presentation will be. So each of you can now present, beginning with Madam Kennedy, nominated for the UK. Proceed, please.
Honorable Chair, Honorable Co-Chair, distinguished members of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, other distinguished senators present, my fellow Liberians. Allow me to seize the opportunity of this hearing to express my heartfelt gratitude to His Excellency Joseph Nima Boyka, President of the Republic, for nominating me to represent and serve the interests of the government and people of this nation as Ambassador to the Court of St. James, United Kingdom. I am indeed grateful for this preferment. Thus, I vow that I will continue to serve by championing the interests of the Republic of Liberia with honor to the best of my ability by employing what I consider my trifecta approach of diligence, dignity, and discipline. Honorable Chair, distinguished members of this august Committee on Foreign Affairs, allow me to formally introduce myself. I am Genevieve A. Kennedy, a career diplomat who began her service with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as research officer following my return home from Japan, where I obtained a master's degree in international relations. After rising to the position of coordinator for Asian affairs, I was sent into the Foreign Service as First Secretary to the Federal Republic of Ethiopia. This assignment was almost baptism by fire, as it was during our civil conflict and diplomats were called upon to serve regardless of the financial reality. It was therefore understandable that many officers were constrained to leave the Foreign Service to seek gainful employment. Therefore, in recognition of my exemplary service during those difficult years, I was promoted at post to the position of counselor and later transferred to our embassy near London with the designation of Minister Counselor, where I served with distinction. Consequently, in acknowledgement of my diligence to my country, Her Excellency President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf in 2015 nominated me Liberia's first female ambassador to the Republic of Ghana. Unfortunately, the procedure to ensure my dispatch to Accra to assume the duties of this office was delayed by the untimely passing of Ambassador Rudolph P. von Bambus, to whom I was deputy. I therefore assumed the responsibilities of the embassy as chargé d'affaires at interim until 2017, when at the appointment of a new ambassador to the United Kingdom, I was able to proceed to Monrovia to comply with the protocol that enabled me to take up my duties of my preferment. Honorable Chairman, distinguished members of this Committee on Foreign Affairs, I'm assured that we are aware of the historic ties, the historic diplomatic ties that have and continue to subsist between the Republic of Liberia and United Kingdom. This relationship extends to the very independence of our republic. It will be recalled that following the declaration of our independence, the United Kingdom was the first country to recognize our sovereignty. We also know that in 1907, Liberia changed our currency and adopted the British West African pound, which was pegged to the shilling. I only mention this to note that the bilateral ties between Liberia and the United Kingdom have developed and been strengthened over many years. There is goodwill at the Court of St. James for Liberia. I therefore pledged that should I be confirmed by this honorable body, my vision for my tenure at the Court of St. James, in adherence to Liberia's foreign policy that emphasizes economic development, will be to engage robustly with the business community, reaffirming that Liberia is safe to invest and transact business. There has been a number of investment forums held by the embassy near London, beginning under the stewardship of Ambassador Wesley M. Johnson. I understand that there have been a number of visits to Liberia by various delegations of potential investors. I therefore intend to conduct an examination of what we have achieved thus far. Which will be continued, or, if necessary, explore other avenues through which these attempts to attract investments would be improved. I also pledge that I shall ensure that the interests and concerns of Liberians living in the United Kingdom are given the full consideration and attention of the Embassy. Honorable Chair, distinguished members of this committee, allow me to express my appreciation to this august and honorable body for according me the privilege to appear before you to affirm my absolute dedication to the service of my country. I thank you.
Kindly permit me to preamble my statement by copiously thanking His Excellency Joseph Newman Boakai, President of the Republic of Liberia and the Chief Foreign Policy Architect of our Republic, for the preferment and my nomination to the position of Liberia's Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to France, with multiple accreditation to the Kingdom of Spain, the Portuguese Republic, the Hellenic Republic of Greece, the Swiss Confederation, the Republic of Cyprus, the Principality of Monaco, and the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. My family and friends remain profusely thankful to the President for this preferment. I speak to you today very conscious of Chairman Senator Abraham Darius DeLong's Solomonic reminder to all nominees to proceed very gingerly upon appearance, knowing that confirmation is analogous to job interview. Like any competency-based interview, as an interviewee, I will endeavor to demonstrate how educationally, experientially, I am fit, and also establish the competencies I have and make me suitable to become the President's chief messenger and principal expediter, who will be stationed in Paris helping the Minister of Foreign Affairs implement Liberia's foreign policy in my areas of assignment. In these challenging times globally, continentally, and regionally, the role of an ambassador extends beyond mere representation. My engagement with the French Republic, a key player in the international arena, will be critical to Liberia's aspiration for economic development, peace, and sustainable progress. My mission, growing out of the President and the ministers, will be to ensure that Liberia's voice is loudly heard, our interests is fully represented, and our potential conspicuously recognized within the broader context of European partnerships. If confirmed, I will work to effectively represent Liberia and maintain fruitful, mutually beneficial diplomatic relations between the Republic of Liberia and France, as well as the countries and organizations to whom I will be accredited. In pursuit of this, especially under the leadership of Her Excellency Minister Sarah Beslo Nyanti, our Republic's Chief Foreign Policy Implementer, and within the context of promoting economic and development diplomacy, enveloped in our liberal foreign policy agenda, deeply anchored in liberalism, I will endeavor to explore creative ways and opportunities to contribute my quota to the rebranding, repositioning, and re-imaging of the Paris mission, to foster recommitment and improvement of relationships that consequentially contribute to our Commonwealth social, political, and economic objectives within the context of the agriculture, rules, rule of law, education, sanitation, and tourism, or the arrest agenda for inclusive development. Even though I have earned a Doctor of Philosophy in Management Sciences specializing in public administration and a postgraduate diploma in management, of particular relevance to this role I have been nominated to, I have a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science with emphasis in International Relations and a Master of Arts in International Relations, which have provided me with the understanding of the interaction of state and non-state actors in international politics, equipping me with the requisite skills to understand how states act in the global interstate system, and develop an understanding and interpretation of countries and the actors' behavior towards other countries and the actors. I commit to using my education to enhance cooperation and address issues of common interest. In terms of my international experience, especially so working within very professional, multicultural environments, from June 2021 to October 2024, I worked with the United Nations with efforts aimed at maintaining international peace and security. I was involved with monitoring, researching, analyzing, reporting, and advising the Office of the Assistant Secretary of Africa, the Office of the Honor Secretary for Political and Peace-Building Affairs, and the Executive Office of the Secretary General of the United Nations on political developments in the troubled Central Sahel region, encompassing Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, at the Western Africa Division in the Departments of Political and Peace-Building Affairs and Peace Operations at the United Nations headquarters in New York. I provided backstopping support to the work of the United Nations Office for West Africa and the Sahel, UNOWAS, on international peace and security efforts, ensuring sound analysis and early warning, supporting the prevention of conflict, supporting the management of political crisis to prevent conflict, supporting efforts aimed at sustaining regional peace, and enhancing partnership. Before then, I worked with the United Nations Organization Stabilization Mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo in Goma, North Kivu, and was involved with the development and implementation of stabilization, social cohesion, and protection of civilian projects. My United Nations joining has provided me with a richer, hands-on, in-depth, and practical understanding of international relations, diplomacy, and the nuances of multilateral engagements that will be very useful in my role as I have been nominated to serve. I am committed to using my invaluable experience to foster ties, not only with France, but also with other countries to which I will be accredited, if confirmed. I will pursue and ensure the creation of collaborative networks that facilitate trade, investment, cultural exchange, mutual support, and work to show improved and impressive results, including meeting new challenges through quality diplomatic services that will place Liberia in an enviable and admirable place within a family of countries represented in Paris. Honorable Chairman and other members of this Honorable Senate Committee, the French government plans to increase its official development assistance to 0.7% of its gross national income by 2025 to support African countries, especially as they transition to more sustainable growth models. Dividends from the development assistance are expected to be visibly seen through interventions aimed at addressing the effects of climate change, supporting healthcare service delivery, and prioritizing gender equality, entrepreneurship, and infrastructural development. The French government also intends to ensure monetary, academic, and scientific cooperations are emphasized. In this light, if confirmed, I intend to explore creative means through which our Commonwealth attracts its fair share of France's official development assistance annually. Clearly, France is one of the most powerful countries on the globe with a strong economy that represents and presents opportunities for investment, trade, and commerce. Using commercial diplomacy, if confirmed, I intend to explore and ensure effective engagement on behalf of the government of Liberia with French companies, industries, and businesses to see how Liberia can become a destiny of these businesses. While doing similarly with other countries to which I would have accreditation, I intend to lead a team that bases itself with the provision of information about Liberia's business climate, market conditions, and investment opportunities that will serve as a central fertile force that will curvilinearly direct French and other businesses to our country. I wish to indicate that Liberia has renewed and updated its 1981 agreement with the French Development Agency, followed by the signing of €1.2 million French government grant that has funded the studies of 40 Liberian students at the Ofoy-Boigny National Polytechnic in La Côte d'Ivoire. As ADF supports development initiatives into accelerate transition to fairer and more sustainable world and supports youth development initiatives, if confirmed, I intend to explore more avenues on how ADF can incrementally intervene in many other spheres of our development activities. Including but not limited to ADF, we will search for and build more productive partnerships and relationships that will accrue to our country much needed benefits. Additionally, I commit to work, among other things, in fulfillment of the agreement for reciprocal promotion and protection of investments signed between the government of Liberia and France in Paris on 23 March 1979 and the tax information exchange agreement signed by both governments on 6 January 2011. I come to this preferment acutely aware that global politics or political developments and the act of diplomacy are malleable clays that are shaped and impacted by skillful and tactful diplomatic actors with the necessary acumen and understanding of global politics and power dynamics. As someone with the United Nations experience and awareness of global politics or geopolitics, in which France plays a key role in global affairs, especially within the European Union, the North Atlantic Treaty Organizations, NATO, and the United Nations, I am cognizant of the importance of improved relations between France and our country. I'm also aware of France's place within the community of countries referred to as the Group of Seven that meets, discusses, and decides on issues of global economic development, international security, and most recently, artificial intelligence. Mine will be a responsibility, if confirmed, to network with my colleagues assigned to countries to which G7 members are to ensure that Liberia's interest finds its way to the table of discussion and decision making, as these countries most importantly provide development assistance to developing countries and also meaningfully contribute to the securitization of our world. Honorable Chairman and members of this Honorable Senate Committee, if confirmed, I will have jurisdiction over United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. I intend to trumpet and parrot the need for more investment in teachers' training, gender equality, youth development, empowerment, and tourism, among others, while focusing on representing and safeguarding Liberia's interest in multilateral fora at UNESCO. I commit to impactfully participating in negotiations, advocating for national priorities, fostering mutually beneficial diplomatic relations, and contributing to the advancement of global peace, security, development, and human rights. Honor my leadership and with Liberia on the executive board of the 58th member, I intend to ensure that the permanent delegation of Liberia to UNESCO remains a consequential member of the organization and multilaterally engages to ensure that our country continues to accrue dividends through the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, and the Ministry of Cultural Affairs and Tourism, as well as the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Honorable Chairman and distinguished members of this committee, if confirmed by the Honorable Liberian Senate, I will end appointed in a commission by the President. I will officially become the Chief Manager of my police and resources at the Paris mission. During the discharge of my duties, I intend to proceed very delicately and strictly in full compliance with relevant laws, regulations, and procedures, and inspire my team to continually espouse and endlessly exude excellence and integrity. Honorable Chairman and members of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, without sidestepping creativity, which is important, my assignment as ambassador, if I get your blessing to be confirmed, will not give me any authority whatsoever and the latitude to formulate personal plans of action. Rather, it is an assignment in which my primary duty will be implementing policies and decisions from whom. As such, my role will be to ensure that I take instructions and execute orders in the state's best interests. It is going to be my duty to offer suggestions that will enable us to generate the best results for our national interest. I can assure you that I will bring my knowledge, experience, and expertise to propagate the best values of our republic. I'm aware of the responsibilities that come with this role, including being the voice for Liberia's interests abroad, enhancing our bilateral relations, and encouraging investments that can accelerate our country's economic growth. I commit to carry out these responsibilities with integrity, transparency, and dedication, and be a results-based ambassador if confirmed. My education, skills, and practical experiences nationally and internationally make me the best suited for this role. Hence, I've come to humbly seek the Senate's blessing to allow me to serve as Liberia's Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to France. Thank you, and I look forward to a fruitful interaction.
Thank you, Mr. Nominee, to France. Next, nominee for Ghana.
Mr. Chairman and honorable members of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, I am Musu Jatu Gray-Ruhle, a Liberian and hail from Grand Cape County. I am married with one son. I have the honor to thank the Almighty God for making this day possible and to extend profound thanks to His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Numa Boakai Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia, for nominating me as Liberia's ambassador to the Republic of Ghana with accreditation to the Republic of Togo. I also wish to extend my heartfelt appreciation to the Honorable Liberian Senate for the opportunity provided me to appear before its Committee on Foreign Affairs for confirmation as provided for by the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. I hold a Bachelor of Arts degree in International Relations from the Cottington University in Swakoko, Bon County, Republic of Liberia, and a Master of Arts degree in Conflict, Peace and Security from the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center in Accra, Republic of Ghana. As part of capacity enhancement efforts, I have acquired several national and international certifications, which are detailed in my CV submitted to the committee. Mr. Chairman, and honorable members of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, I have had the opportunity to serve our beloved country in different capacities, including Ambassador Extraordinary, Plenipotentiary, Embassy of the Republic of Liberia in Freetown, Sierra Leone, Minister Counselor Chargé d'Affaires, AI, Embassy of the Republic of Liberia near Accra, Republic of Ghana, Senior Desk Officer, Acting Assistant Minister of European Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Consular Counsel and Chargé d'Affaires, AI, Embassy of the Republic of Liberia, Republic of Italy. Mr. Chairman and honorable members of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, if confirmed by you, I intend to commence work with the team at the Accra mission on a full-legged plan that is tailored on the government's Liberian arrest agenda for inclusive development. The four-legged objectives are to regularize and republish the Liberian Chancery and Ambassador's residence, to broaden and enhance Liberian economic and technical cooperation, to improve protection and welfare of the Liberian citizens in Ghana and Togo, to improve consular services delivery and enhance client satisfaction. I am confident that this proposed 2025 outlook will lay the basis for optimizing productivity at the Accra mission and yield the much needed benefits associated with South-South and North-South economic and technical cooperation. As you may be aware, Ghana is fast becoming a hub for bilateral and multilateral activities, thereby presenting Accra mission as a strategic actor in attracting much needed economic and technical cooperation in support of the government Liberia's agenda for inclusive development. Mr. Chairman and honorable members of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, in closing, I wish to assure you that, if confirmed, I will work with utmost productiveness, as always, to prove myself worthy of confidence you would repose in me. I thank you.
The two of them say, not just all the two females.
Thank you. So we now proceed, but before we proceed, one of our colleagues, the co-chair, the vice chairman on the Senate Judiciary Committee, walked in, and as our protocol, he will introduce himself.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator Councilor Joseph Kolako Patojala, Senior Senator, Lofa County. Chairman Backing and Currency, of course, he added other one. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, you read your statement. Do we have copy for the committee? Do you have copy for the committee? All of you coming to this job with experience. Yes,
I submitted mine.
The both of you have come for a confirmation hearing before. And regrettably, you didn't do that. You failed in the first job interview. The first step.
This job?
Yeah, from Ghana. Yeah. Okay, so we'll now go to the interactive aspect of the hearing. Senators will ask you questions. You will answer, referring to each person as Mr. Senator or Madam Senator. And then we engage. We'll start with the former foreign minister, a doyen of the Committee on Foreign Affairs, Senator Thomas Yaya Nimla.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To the two nominees, nominee Ambassador Kennedy and nominee Ambassador Gray, I've worked with you before for a protracted period. And you remain within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. What do you see as the challenges within the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that may hinder the progression in the execution of your duties as ambassadors if you are confirmed?
Thank you, Mr. Senator. In preparation for my meeting at this hearing, I confer with the embassy at the Court of St. James. And one of the things that was told me was the procedure by which Liberians obtain their passports. With the demise of the diplomatic pouch, unfortunately, the allocation of funds for Liberians living in the UK and countries in that general area has become a problem in that they have to wait from anywhere up to 4 months after meeting all the requirements. That includes the biometrics, what all they have to do with the biometric process. So that will be one of the things I will be concerned about. Also, generally the financial provision for missions. There are certain procedures and policies that embassies must adhere to, and many of them, if not all of them, have financial implication. And that has been, over my period of service in the field, in the foreign service, has been one of the major constraints. So those will be things that I will be discussing with Her Excellency the Foreign Minister. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Senator. I think in my service as a foreign service officer and ambassador, one of the biggest issues that we have at the missions is that... You want to use the microphone? It's on, I don't know. Okay, I should come closer maybe. One of the biggest issues I think we have is communication. The foreign affairs send us out as foot soldiers because the diplomats are foot soldiers for the government. But we have very little communication with them once we get out there. You write complaints, you write proposals, you send it to them, and you won't get any response. So that's a big challenge for the foreign service, and as an ambassador, we receive at post. All the other things, if the communication is flowing, all the other things will fall into place. If you have financial issues, if you have social issues, you communicate with the foreign affairs, you do not get any response. So for me, I see communication as the biggest problem.
Thank you.
Somebody got a microphone. The two of you worked in Ghana, I guess from 2003, when I got to know the two of you, up to the time that you left Ghana. What's responsible for the ambassador's residence not being completed?
The ambassador residence was completed, but there were issues. When the bid came up for the ambassador's residence property, it was done here in Monrovia at the Foreign Ministry. They conducted the bid, they selected their contractor. The embassy was not 100% involved. They had a supervisor from Monrovia, from the Public Works Ministry and the Foreign Affairs. So we only go there to see that the work was done. We made complaints of shortcomings because, number one, the person the contract was given to was not a known company in Ghana. And the way the work was going wasn't being done properly. Those complaints were registered to the Foreign Affairs. But then the supervisor they had for public work, he didn't have any problems with that. So, but however, the project was completed. But upon completion, before I left in 2017, Public Works and Foreign Affairs didn't make sure that a delegation or qualified people went there to see how the project was done, whether it was done properly and whatnot, and then they accepted the project, at which time the ambassador designate arrived and she moved into the house. So there was no proper turning over process. So as a result, when she was recalled, the property was just there. There was no security at the residence, and then I think they said thieves or rogues or whoever went there and vandalized the place. But it was completed. It was dedicated by President Salif and President Nana Akufo-Addo from Ghana, and it was working. She lived there, so she should be able to know. So,
yeah, Mr. Senator, if I may add, in agreement with Ambassador Ruhle, I also find the delay regarding communication a problem. So it's communication and finances. In addition to what she said, the team or the architectural team that was supposed to renovate or rebuild the ambassador's residence that also had a presidential annex was a team that was selected apparently by someone who was not part of the embassy. From the briefing that Ambassador Ruhle gave me, and when I arrived at post, it was suggested that I agree that the project had been completed. Unfortunately, I do not have much in the sense of building construction, that is knowledge, so I was unable to. And after living in the residence for a period of time, when the rainy season came in, it was a good thing that I had not done so, because there were all kinds of problems. So, and that was when we started informing Monrovia of the shortcomings. Periodically, the Ministry of Public Works would send an architect who would liaise with the team of the construction team, and result would be nothing that I could put my signature to. So that matter was left in abeyance. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We're talking about poor communication as part of the liability to the effectiveness of your work. Can you carry on your duties, or have you ever tried carrying on your duties without response from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
yes, Mr. Senator, I have done that.
Okay.
And when I went to the Accra mission, 2013, as Chargé d'Affaires and Minister Councilor, the chancery, the office, was in a very bad shape. And I started minor renovations there. With the mega operational fund that we sent, we were able to refurbish the chancery, have a nice area for the ambassador to sit. We provided proper hygiene, like toilets and things for the applicants and Liberians that come there. Until Madam Salif actually commended me for that. So when she used to come for, if she had only short hours, like 2 hours or 3 hours to connect, she actually come and sit in the office with us, which made her to actually buy us a 13 kVA generator for the chancery. And we also work hard. We got 2 cars. And because of our effort by ourselves, initiated by ourselves, to renovate the chancery, so that impressed her, and she gave a lot of contributions to the support to the embassy.
I was in Ghana a couple of years ago. At the time you were in charge. That building I went to, is that what we call the embassy? The one I went to visit the president of Ghana. I think I stopped at your office.
The chancery, the office.
Right.
Yes.
That is the Liberian embassy.
Unfortunately, it is.
I see. So we have been here and we say we are friendly with Ghana, and we see Ghana moving forward. So that's what we have as our embassy.
That is what we have as our embassy, Mr. Senator.
Thank you. Thank you. Ambassador Yorlay, parlez-vous français? Merci beaucoup. Your work, the effectiveness of your work stems from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. If you don't have latitude, your car will get stuck in the mud. No matter how much degrees you have, your car will get stuck in the mud. I once suggested that all ambassadors within the 21st century should be a laptop ambassador. Those days of toasting wine and speaking BB English is over. We are a poor nation. We are seeking. We need to knock on doors and be humble and meek. But if we start raising shoulders, the people who have the money, they will pass by us. We don't have money and we are acting like we got money. You are going to France and you will be controlling, I think, 3 or 4 countries. The people who got money, the Europeans, the French embassy is in Sierra Leone. It used to be here, but it's not here anymore. It's in Sierra Leone. You want visa, you can go to Schengen and go to Abidjan and get it. But we want to have embassy in every country and we can't pay the people that go there. So my point here is, yes, you are a smart gentleman, but what I want you to know is that the root of your work starts from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. When you have that good relationship with your foreign minister, your boss, you will work. If you want to move, you need to give her a call. Can I go right? Can I go left? Say go right, go left. If you don't go right when they say go right, they will call you back, even though you know your job. It's protocol. You have worked in a different level of protocol, but this level of protocol is a little bit different. So I like your aggressiveness. I like the amount of experience you have, but you got to stay in line. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Nimle. We'll take Senator Daba Fabula. Oh, she's not here? Okay, we'll take Senator Abati Chie, the pro tem emeritus.
So I will start with both of you and start with where you left off concerning our embassy in Ghana, the building. We know that it doesn't represent us. And we have been talking this over and over and over. What are the plans to build a proper embassy? First, what has been the constraints? One time we were constrained on land that we needed to get in land in Monrovia. I think the land was identified and so forth. So what are the constraints?
The problem we have in Accra, Ghana, is that first of all, we claim property in Ghana, the residence. The residence in Ghana is not ours because it was leased in 1962 for 50 years. So in 2013, I think the 50 years was exhausted. When I was there, I contacted Foreign Affairs and I went to the Interior Ministry. And they did an evaluation. They said we have to pay $2 million to renew the lease, which I communicated to the ministry and then to the then former president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. The $2 million became an issue for the property we were trying to acquire for Liberia. They agreed to give us the property, the chancery, the embassy, but we have to provide them property here. But we got stuck because they claimed that they wanted us to pay that $2 million for the residents to renew the lease before they can even start discussing the property issue with us. So we started that discussion. We found the property here at Wana, but we couldn't pay the 2 million. That became the hitch for the property there. So as we speak, even though people keep saying we have property in Ghana, it's just because of the good relationship we have with the Ghana government, but the property is not ours because we haven't paid a dime since the 50 year expired. I wrote a letter, we met with President Nana Akufo-Addo when we were opening the residence after the renovation, and Madam Salif asked him for a free leasehold. He agreed and asked the foreign minister for me to work with her for that. I did a communication, sent it to Minister Kamara. Minister Kamara took it to Madam Salif, but that's where it ended. So we couldn't get a freehold. So we have been suggesting that we should, because that's a diplomatic property, we should write for freehold instead of leasehold, because we have to be paying every year. Maybe after this thing, there will be about 5 million every time the leasehold increased. So that's the same thing I'm talking about communication. Foreign ministry do not respond to communication. They do not act on them. But when things go wrong, then they come back, they blame the embassy. So there are a lot of great deal of work that has been done to acquire. So we cannot, according to the last communication, get the chancery property unless we pay the 2 million at the time. And this was in 2013 when it was 2 million. So from 2013 to 2024, you can imagine how much it is. So we have to actually start a proper discussion with the Ghana government for first of all, for a free leasehold on the residence where we are. The Indians have theirs, it's for them, it's free leasehold. Canada and other embassies are around that area. But Liberia is there, or we are leasing, and we can't even pay for the lease. So the Ghana government is not prepared to discuss anything for the chancery if we do not pay that lease. So at least at the time, that's what they said. Thank you.
Yorlay, you have multiple accreditations to other countries. How do you hope to handle them? Because we know the story as often in the foreign service, there's no money syndrome. How you hope to handle your responsibility?
Thank you, Mr. Senator. Yes, if confirmed, I will have multiple accreditation to 5 other countries. We've had someone who has been helping us with Spain, who has expressed his interest in not continuing. In Greece, the Council General there basically heavily concentrated on maritime related issues. So upon getting your blessing, which we humbly seek, we intend to engage with the minister, our boss, under whose direction and management we intend to work, to be able to advise relative to having actors representing our interests in those various areas, so that we can be able to effectively superintend the activities and then remain engaged with those countries to which will be accredited, because improvement of relationships between ourselves as a country and those countries is consequential to be able to help my work. If confirmed, I do not intend to be an ambassador who will confine himself to a space or an office without regularly engaging in producing results. So I'm aware of that. So upon having your blessing, then I will have the authority to engage with the minister, and then we can be able to compare on her direction and management. We can be able to have the marching orders to proceed.
Ambassador Kennedy and Ambassador, where's the last name? Rule. When I look at two of you, when I look at Yorlay, two of you still long in the foreign service, and you all seem to be a little bit, you're not happy to go back there. You're waiting. It looks like your preference would have been, with your experience, either deputy minister, also at the ministry, and saying younger people who are the ministry now out there. Are you being sent here because that war remaining or what?
Thank you, Mr. Senator. I'm not sure if I know how to answer that question. I would like to assure you that I am being subdued in honor of where I am. I am a dedicated Foreign Service officer. The reason why I have an extended period of being with the Foreign Ministry is because I entered the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as a cadet. So I would like to say that I have a wealth of knowledge, and I am a decided Liberian who intends to do everything within my power to ensure that the interests of my country and Liberians where I am are kept, are provided, and are projected. So please do not assume that we are, because we are sitting like ladies. I know, I understand. I'm assuring you, sir, that we will do our best, vigorously. Thank you.
Senator, I think I do agree with you. It's about time the young people take the stage, but you still need the older folks. So what I would suggest rather we should be talking about is that if there's an older ambassador or an experienced ambassador in a mission, there should be young officers to work with the person, to learn, to grow. That means we're passing it forward. So I think it's not a mistake that the president appointed us as ambassadors. I'm hoping to work with a very young team, and I'm hoping that I can pass on something to them. So I think your question is in place, but we'll have to learn to let the young people grow to learn from us. Thank you.
Ambassador to UK and France to the west. We have followed the news that Western countries, including the UK and the US, have recently authorized the use of long-range weapons into Russia. And Russia, in response, has lowered its threshold for the use of nuclear weapons. And we are afraid. We are afraid that maybe pretty soon we'll start hearing the news of World War III or the use of nuclear weapons in that war. You are going as our ambassador. What's your view on that?
Thank you, Mr. Senator. Mr. Senator, I will be advised by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. My stance will be determined. What I say, how I act, will be determined by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. My personal view is that the situation is precarious, and I am as worried as you are. The decision of the West, or the United States for that matter, to take the stance that it has taken, and for members of NATO to more or less acquiesce, is worrying. That is my view. Thank you, sir.
Normally, you will realize that even at the level of the United Nations, France, the UK, and the US are referred to as the P3, even though they have permanent 5, but they are the P3, where they lean. Even at the level of the G7, they are there, where they lean. It is, from my background, as somebody from the United Nations, our effort is to be able to prevent conflict and sustain peace. So it is an unfortunate reality that has negative global effects, not only in Europe, but on the economy of the world. When I get confirmed, of course, it will be a responsibility on my part to be the chief messenger of the president and chief expediter of what he crafts as the architect, and then through the Minister of Foreign Affairs to do So our opinion will be the president's opinion, and we will be there and rolling out what the president decides, working with all of you people who are members of the Foreign Relations or Foreign Affairs Committee to be able to craft our position as a country on this particular issue and how we can be able to approach it. We can assure you, once we have your blessing, we'll proceed very gingerly to ensure that what you want is done.
The ICC issue arrest warrant for the Prime Minister of Israel, again a former defense minister. Will you recommend that the countries you are going to represent, the countries we are sending you to represent, obey international law and make Israel to succumb? The two people.
This is a delicate question and delicate. I want to proceed gingerly from giving personal views on some of these delicate issues until at such time, because we've come here as agents of the president to be his report. I said to be. I said to be. I'm not convinced. Yeah, I said to be senator. So on this particular issue, I wish to say, until I consult and hear from the minister and the president, I cannot be able to clearly comment on it. Of course, my general advice would be for us to be able to ensure that we live as a globe in peace. And so whatsoever thing that contributes to peace, security, and sustaining peace around the world is something that I will regularly advise the President or the Minister of Foreign Affairs on. But on this particular issue relative to personal position, I'll look forward to the direction of the President through the Minister of Foreign Affairs, who will give us the marching order, and then we'll proceed as such.
Yes, Mr. Senator. Mr. Senator, I will advise my Minister of Foreign Affairs, should I am asked for my personal view, to consider what is in the best interest of Liberia. Because we have to do those things that are in the interest of the country and its people. So I will put the ball in her court. The President will decide what steps to take based on what is in the best interest of the country, and I will run with the ball. Thank you, sir.
Our ambassador to the UK, DESIGNATE. Under former Prime Minister Richard Sunak, there was a policy was crafting to deport so-called illegal immigrants to Rwanda. And with this new Starmer government, it has not been implemented yet. Other foreign governments are thinking in that direction. What are your thoughts on that?
Mr. Senator, thank you. My thoughts on that is to have an in-depth discussion with the Minister of Foreign Affairs. I apologize, but there are certain things that are important to get guidance. We have to have guidance in order to take certain steps. So,
thoughts?
My thoughts regarding the deportation of other nationals
To Rwanda.
to Rwanda.
Our program, yeah.
Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts and what would be alternatives? What do you think about that?
Why I would want to know, I will have to investigate the whole situation. Why are they being deported? What are the reasons for their deportation will be my starting point would be what I would want to know. Based on why are they being deported? That will be my concern, sir. And based on that, I will determine if it is because of reasons that are not being expressed. If there are hidden agenda, then I will take a decision. I will be informed to take a decision. Thank you, sir.
Our ambassador designated to Ghana. There was a little strained relationship between our two countries when it came to the issue of Liberian refugees. Where are we now, and how do you see that relationship?
Ghana and Liberia have never really have any issues. The refugee situation is that the actual refugees that went to Ghana, they are quite comfortable because they completed a resettlement to America, Europe, Australia, and whatever. And there are more people coming every day now. And when they were ECOWAS, I can't really know exactly what because I wasn't there at the time. But when ECOWAS came up with this agreement to integrate refugees in West African countries into the host countries, most of the Liberians on the refugee camp opted for it because I was in Sierra Leone at the time, and I know it worked there very well. But then the way it was managed, it was not managed properly. Number one, the displaced and refugees are in Ghana at the Budubura camp. When there are good things coming from UNHCR or any other agency, then they say they are refugees. They don't have anything to do with Liberian government, which is true, because they are running away from the Liberian government. Then when that is exhausted, and then they start having issues with the agency, then they run to the embassy. Now, how can you deal with that situation? When the integration came in, they gave them money, which they accepted for family head to leave the refugee camp and integrate into the society. The Liberian government issued them passports through UNHCR, which was given to UNHCR. Electropiracy gave it to UNHCR and was submitted to the Ghana Refugee Board. And I think that's where the problem came from. They were giving resident permits and work permits that were in the passport, but when they received the passport had already expired. Then they have used the money. Then later on they realized that the property at the Budubura camp was for the Catholic school, or it was a Catholic property where they were dealt with that situation several times. There's no problem with Ghana and Liberia. They have been very accommodating and supportive of Liberia.
Madam Nominee, so let me follow up. Oh, you done? Okay, good. If the Ghanaian government has any time the Ghanaian government decided that it would allow Liberian refugees who wanted to take up residency or Ghanaian citizenship, at any point that opportunity been given and Liberians who want to remain in Ghana refuse that opportunity?
Well, they didn't refuse, but the opportunity was given because it was an ECOWAS arrangement. Like I said, I don't know the details, but the integration system came from ECOWAS.
How long you been holding off over the embassy in Ghana?
I was there for 2013, 2017, but by the time the integration has expired. But I was in Freetown when the integration started.
Who is at the embassy now?
There's a gentleman there called Innis, Mr. Innis, Philip Innis. He's holding on now.
Okay.
I left Ghana 2017, October. So I do not know what the issues are there. By the time I was there, that was the issue. But the issue was not the Ghana government and Liberia, because the Ghana government issued the Liberian government issued passport to all the Liberians who opted for the integration. And those passports were submitted to the refugee board at the time. But for some reason, the passports were expired. Either they said were expired a few months before it got to the board. So even the resident permits were no use to them. So they couldn't work. And since I do not really know what's going on with them now. But that's it. There hasn't been anywhere where the Ghana government actually asked them to leave or something. They only asked them to leave the camp because they have received money for integration. So at the time they were giving her this money, I believe they said it was $400. They didn't involve the embassy into the arrangement. So they gave it to them around Christmas time, and they...
When was that?
I went there 2013, and I think that incident happened before I got there. Because when they were once again asked to leave, I went to the refugee board, and that's what I was told. And I worked with the organizations, and then they told me, yes, they gave them $400, I think, for family head or something.
Okay, so we'll continue the rounds. Senator Jala, then followed by Senator Jabba Vapla.
Mr. Chair, let me congratulate the three of you for your preferment by the President to this important position, or to this respective position. Madam Designate Ambassador for UK, let me start with you. Someone started off with a question about Liberian going to the UK. You must go to Freetown or Accra to get a visa. It has time and cost implications. What do you have, or what could be done from your perspective to deal with this matter, or to resolve this matter?
Thank you, Mr. Senator. That is one of the issues we intend to take up upon our arrival, should we be confirmed. After our crisis, the British Embassy had been closed in Monrovia. It was during the stewardship of Ambassador Wesley Johnson that it reopened, and we took up that case vigorously. I had the honor of serving with him. So we intend to take up this matter also because, as you say, the financial aspect of having to travel out of, for other level Liberians, having to go to Cote d'Ivoire to I think it's Ghana, having to go to Ghana to get okay, thank you. It's okay, it's okay. Oh. Having to go to Ghana to get a visa is cost effective, it's rather expensive. So I intend to take up this matter with my colleagues. I have had the opportunity to work in the UK, as you will see from my CV, and I have had contacts with the Foreign Office. So we intend to use every tool at our disposal to do those things that are in the interest of Liberians. Thank you, sir.
Okay, that's good. We look forward to seeing how that works out. The next question I have is that you are going to a country. I'm sorry, my senior colleague, took you away, but they have the problem right in your hand. You are going to a country that has your former president in jail. Are you emotional about that, or do you have a subordinate way to do something about this, even though it might be beyond your reach, because he's in jail for something that has nothing to do with Liberia, technically?
Thank you, Mr. Senator. Regrettably, I must say that is above my pay grade. The case of former President Taylor is what I am unable to engage in, unfortunately. However, I stand ready and able should the Republic of Liberia decide to put forth a case that will involve her mission at the Court of St. James. Thank you.
Mr. Ambassador, have you been to Paris before? Yeah, no lie. Have you been to Paris?
The only time I've been in Europe is in Switzerland. I've not been to Paris before.
There is a. Legislating, I'm sorry, sir. There is a cliche that the ambassador is trained diplomat to lie for his country. Do you see anything in this?
Unfortunately, I do not see my president as a liar. I do not see my foreign minister as an implementer of lie. And so I do not see an ambassador as a liar, but a messenger of an honest president who wishes to have somebody representing him abroad to be able to work in the interest of the country.
I would like to get, are you the one that invited Mr. Gray-Ruhle to the important hearing as an elder member?
I worked in NIMA before as Assistant Superintendent for Development, and so I assume that when the chairman informed the world that we would have been here today, and I sort of reposted the chairman's post, many Nimbayans saw it and thought it necessary to come in solidarity. So I did not personally, pointedly extend invitation to Mr. Wu, an elder of our county, but I think he's here because he heard of our appearance here today. He decided to come, and thank you, Honorable Wu, for coming.
Okay, let me go to the ambassador to Accra first. May I ask you, madam, if you are mayor, given what you're explaining about Accra, do you think the environment is right for Liberia to have its mission in Accra or take it somewhere else?
Mr. Senator, the environment is perfect for Liberia to have a mission in Accra. Because why do you have a mission in any country? Based on your interests, our population, our citizens. I might not know exactly how many Liberians are in Ghana, but there are quite a number of Liberians in Ghana that need the services at the embassy. What's our interest? When people are sick, the first place they run to is Ghana, if they're not going to India. Ghana is always there for Liberia. Liberians run to Ghana just like they are going to their countries here. So I think it's very private and very, very, very good that Liberia has a mission there in Ghana or in Accra.
Well, I may have to differ on that because an honorary council from Ghana can handle that problem. I mean, a good Ghanaian and a good friend of Liberia as an honorary council can deal with that rather than having a whole mission to go through agony. That's complete agony.
No,
I can't even sit on a discussion table on that.
Well, I do agree with you, sir, and that you need an honorary council. But there's a difference between an embassy and an honorary council office. What an ambassador can do, ambassador, you are an ambassador. Extraordinary.
morning.
So in order to travel to come to Monrovia, you must be in the embassy facility, which I believe is taken from there when they arrive at the airport in Monrovia.
Our missions there, both in terms of the issues that raised, it may not be the issue that you have, but if you have them on your look back and have a if you have to provide guidance or seek out guidance on those times, you go along and you're affecting your departure based on the confirmation that's on hand. I was going to say something also about pirates, which is very small. Pirates is among the community of nations that are engaged in trying Liberians. I think I don't have sufficient information on that, but I'm willing to also take a look at that and see what guidance we provide from there. If you are accepted by the Senate to represent Liberia, because it's one of the questions why Liberia are not on time to see how much focus we can put to those places and ensure that Liberia is being fair, fair and be equipped. Thank you.
Congratulations to the 3 nominees for your preferment by the President. One question that I had to ask, I think have already been discussed, but I just want to add to it the issue of the visa to the Schengen countries. I believe your presence in those countries, not just for coordinating officials of government, is also to build economic relationship so that Liberia can benefit. But currently, the difficulties in acquiring Schengen visa is turning away a lot of people from traveling to those countries. So you won't be able to do that. And I think this that's one of the first things we put on the front burner. We have French embassies, we have European embassies in our capital, So by now, I think one of those embassies should be able to take up that responsibility so that it makes it easier for Nigerians to travel to those countries. That demonstrates the diplomatic relationship, the strong ties that we have with those countries. Having said that, I just wanted you to speak on the economic aspect as well. We've had relationships with these countries for years now. And sometimes when you travel across Africa, you see major investments, some of the chain investments in those European countries. In some of the African countries where it's not happening to Nigeria, what approach are you going to take so that we can also attract that investment? Because Nigeria at this time needs jobs. And government cannot employ every citizen, especially the huge population of young people. They need to get to work. So, usually when I travel to some of the countries, the embassy staff are very diligent in taking us from meeting to other meetings and all of that. But how can we go beyond that to engage these authorities to see how we attract investment to our country? So the two of you.
Thank you, Madam Senator. At the Consul Gate, the embassy has been involved since, as I said in my opening statement, since the stewardship of Ambassador Wesley Johnson. And he began a robust program of engaging business people, the business community, starting with the business community at the parliament. And there were a number of meetings we attended
That was when we first held the first forum of investors, and we have had them subsequently, and I've understood that since then there has been the current ambassador even has had a number of delegations come to Liberia. She and the previous ambassador. This is one of the areas I'm going to look at to see what is happening, what has been the results of these visits to Liberia, what has the forum generated, and if there's anything we can do differently, if there is some hitch, what are the problems? I intend to look at that, and if there's something that can be done differently, to go along those lines. But I agree with you that the need for investments in Liberia is paramount. We can't be singing the same old song to a new tone. We have to look at other things, other avenues to encourage investors in the country. And that is one of the pillars of our foreign policy. So I intend to adhere to that very firmly. Thank you, Madam.
The pillar of our country will find it difficult, and so it becomes our responsibility when we get out there to be able to ensure that we attract investment opportunities. I know the French and French businesses have had some issues, especially so in the Sahel region, but their presence in this region is a manifestation of the fact that they are having this here. Some of them who have been holding out and going, it becomes our responsibility to engage with them and tell them that there is a space in place in the region that they can be able to redirect their investment. I also understand that there is a commercial attaché at the mission in Paris. If confirmed, my interest would be to be able to sit with him or her to be able to understand what are the deliverables. It's one thing to have a position where we achieve over a period of time. If not satisfactory, then we have to be able to say that redefine his responsibility and clearly state what we expect of him in terms of the role and responsibility that we given to him. Because if you are a commercial attaché, it's not a title. You must be able to help us to attract opportunities that will come to the country. If you cannot do that, then we have to review your role and responsibility in place. And so we intend to get there, engage, re-engage, or whatever it is when we have your blessings, so that we can be able to say that and define. I come from the background in person to be able to define actions, activities, deliverables, outcomes, and then we can be able to say with all of the people who will be working with you again to be able to start the impacts and then be able to period of time. Because the only way we can be able to be of good ambassadors to be able to deliver results. It's only go to dinner, cocktails, and the rest of it, or whatsoever thing, but the tangible results are got to be delivered. And I'm sure we'll be able to sit down with the minister who comes from a background of understanding how the delivery of results is important. We will have to be able to sit down with her and define, and then we'll have our own deliverables out of that kind of thing that we'll be able to get into our team. So I'm aware of that to be able to roll out the arrest agenda very successfully, it means we have to be able to attract what needs to be attracted by our work out.
Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of Senator Edwin Snow, after which I will close up.
Well, thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon, Nominee. Let me start my congratulations to you for your appointment by the President. Let me state for the record, I know the two female nominees. I've worked with them in previous positions. Martha from Ghana, I worked with her through the and in Serbia, local operations. The ambassador to the UK worked with her in Ghana. So just for the record to reflect. But that does not give you my vote. You are now going to the new position or returning to your previous position and this will be based on your merit. Ambassador to France and other jurisdictions. Have you been to foreign service before? I don't know if you listened to the pro tem emeritus. He spoke. And we laugh about it, but you're two female, you are flicked by two experienced diplomats in the Judiciary. In the foreign service, it's not how well your vocabulary is, it's how well you deliver the message. And I think you might want to work on that a little bit as a young diplomat. I think I've heard a lot about you, and you will see that it's quite impressive. But for a diplomat, it is more about achieving your goals, the message. So I just want you to work on messaging a little bit more. If you are confirmed by this Senate, so that you will make a representation for Nigeria in France. You haven't been to France before. Going there for the first time. What's your expectation?
My expectation is that we want to go and work with team that's in there, be able to inject some dynamism. Like I said,
oh, you can't help it. Go ahead.
vocabulary. Don't talk too long now. But go ahead. Yeah, but thank you for your advice. Let me also say that at the United Nations, we're talking, I did some courses there, and I'm also aware that to be able to engage with interlocutors, you have to be able to tailor.
Phil, gallery, please.
You have to be able to be sensitive. I did political writing for the United States, I mean,
1 minute,
United Nations. So,
1 minute. And you can work on playing that, you can give their own laughing. What are laughing behind that for? Go ahead, sir.
yeah, so we've done a few courses in Foundation for Political Writing Analysis, including and then the phases of engagement with private interlocutors and how to message, you have to be able to get your point across, and we tend to use that. Why is that we can't be in the foreign service for Nigeria? It's also true that we can for diplomacy for at the preventative level, sustaining peace, whereas our colleagues have been at the government diplomacy and the rest of it. So thank you for your advisement. I will take due note, and then we'll act when I have a blessing, and I hope that you will follow when we are there so that you regularly engage with us. Thank you.
My question was just what's your impression of France?
France as a country is a serious economy, a serious country, a global actor whose work on a globe impacts significantly, especially so when you see them being a permanent member of the United Nations. Their key role in the G7, formerly G8 when Russia left, and the European Union that has its offices here. It's a serious country, and we intend to be able to go and engage the country seriously to be able to attract what needs to be attracted. I also am aware, like I said initially, that they have some challenges in our region, especially so in the Central Sahel region in terms of the relationship. And so we intend to improve and sort of work with their business entities to sort of redirect some of them who have been living as a result of these tense relations between France and the Central Sahel countries. So I'm fully aware of the importance of France in geopolitics in the interstate system of the world.
Well, in the last few years, like you rightly said, there have been some challenges with France, and not just in the Sahel countries, but even in the Sahel countries coming into West Africa, the Francophone zone, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, has a major crisis. And since then, a lot of France support in diplomatic diplomatic services have been transferred to other member countries, except for Nigeria. What do you think you can bring to the table to attract foreign investors into Nigeria?
Firstly, we tend to have a team that will have an analysis to be able to inform every other engagement we tend to have with them, because if we are adequately informed with a piece of information, we are able to help to inform that decision. Also, teach out all of the investment opportunities that are here, especially to analyzing their interests in terms of investment. Whatsoever we've seen that they have interest to be able to engage in ensure that some of those opportunities can be redirected to our country. So it will require informed analysis, understanding their interest in a particular situation at a particular time, and how we can be able to capitalize on the explore opportunities to attract them.
In the last few years, a lot of pressure has come to West Africa from the United States and European countries. Gay rights, men marrying men, women marrying women. What's your view on gay rights?
My personal view,
As an ambassador, what's your view as an ambassador going to France? So you go to France, go to a dinner, you meet two women, and other woman introducing the other woman to her husband. What's your view on it?
let me state that I went to school in South Africa where that right exists. My first time encountering such a situation in 2010 when Dr. Genevieve were at the Eastern Medina University, the former of Genevieve, and I went to an entertainment center. That was my first time seeing one case.
Mr. Nominee. Mr. Nominee. Yeah. So as chair of directly, the question is, what of you?
I'm a Christian.
Leave South Africa.
I'm a Christian. I'm married to Mother Teeko Yorlay. I believe through my Christian faith that man marries to a woman. And that's what I believe personally. So if we work in an environment and their culture permits it, it is their culture. It is our responsibility to, until we are authorized by our bosses, the president and the minister who is really working on our direction and management, other issues involving that we cannot, but personally as
a diplomat, and we send you to France, and the direction of the foreign policy of Liberia is for us to endorse the issue about gay business, and for you to work for money. We were you.
The first thing.
And you said, ain't a Christian business will rely on
Yeah.
So, between your job, instruction, and your belief as a Christian, your faith, where do you stand?
It is an if, right?
No, that's not my job.
Now, in that
asking question here, I want to follow
yeah. In that case, we are going to be the messenger of the president, and we are going to be the chief expediter of the foreign policy of the country.
So you will forget what your faith believe now, and for the job, you will go for more than one.
My faith, I'm a Christian.
Yes.
I will be the chief expediter of the president's.
If the conflict with your faith, you take a job or your faith.
My faith exists. I will represent the interests of the country.
So you will not dodge it. Your faith say no. Your job say yeah. Which one you take?
My faith says no.
Yes.
My job says perform. I've agreed to be the president's agent. What the president decides is what I will implement.
So there will be no time where anything conflict with your faith. Any position in the government, once you honor God, you move for it.
If
that person, listen.
Mr. Nominee, are you prepared for the job?
fully prepared.
The foreign service, which you haven't mentioned before, they have a lot of challenges. And the two women, well, both sides will tell you about it. Sometimes you get no rent, the cost of living is very high compared to what you see. It's more of making sacrifice for the country. You're a young man, very smart. You will be president of one of the universities this year. Are you sure you want to leave everything here to go to France?
Thank you. You know, yesterday I interacted with one of the former deputy ministers of administration and Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and she was telling me there are instances you now get Yorlay, you have to get a stove and then you put the pot on it and then the steam will be a heat. Understand that? And I said, before accepting to go, I've studied all these things and I know that I'm going to sacrifice for my motherland. So I understand that very well, and having studied all of those, I made a decision that yes, necessary.
Since your nomination, have you met the president?
Since my nomination, I've met the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
You met the president?
Not the president.
Not the president. So when you get confirmed, and you go to the president, he tells you something that against your faith, will you still want a job or you reconsider?
The president, I will have that conversation and will inform my decision.
So you only met the president, you don't know his vision for France, for Europe, you don't know his things.
Yes, I haven't met the president. The president will be laying out his vision for France to an individual that he will be sending. Cannot convey what is conveyable to the person that's supposed to be your agent to someone who hasn't yet become your agent. And so proceeding in that kind of sphere, I understand why we can't let people to engage, but we're engaging with the minister who is our first man.
What's the relationship with the foreign minister?
Excellent.
My nominee to Ghana. They're returning to Ghana. Why Ghana? You just left Ghana, you came from Ghana, Sierra Leone, now back to Ghana. Why Ghana?
Thank you, Mr. Senator. I didn't actually lobby for Ghana. I was nominated for Ghana by the president. That's the only reason.
So, I'm aware that in your last position in Sierra Leone, you have a very challenging relationship with the foreign minister. What's the relationship with the current foreign minister?
We have a very good relationship. He's a very nice woman.
Was the former not nice?
No, he was in a very disrespectful. We are diplomats. In as much as we work for government, but we are responsible people. So it doesn't mean that we don't work for government. Your boss should be disrespectful. The minister was very disrespectful. I'm not the only one saying it. Everybody knows it. And we have had other bosses, ministers, and say, who is that with respect? And he does it. So I'm actually happy that he's gone.
Madam Ambassador to the UK, you also had a poor relationship with the former minister. What's your current relationship with the current minister?
I would say excellent, Mr. Senator. I've had the privilege of meeting her, and we had a lengthy discussion. Before, in fact, meeting her, she called me. This was unheard of. And I met her, and we talked about various things, including some of the challenges that were mentioned earlier. And she was very comfortable. I mean, it was very fruitful interchange. So I'm looking forward to working with her. I'm hoping that we'll continue as we started. Thank you, sir.
What were the challenges with the former minister?
Well, that goes back to the point that
You know, this specific because in the last meeting, you know, I had two ministers before.
Thank you.
My colleague Philly was there.
Thank you.
So I don't want.
Thank you for that.
Well, be clear.
Well, both of them, I'm asking about Minister Kemian, D. Maxwell Kemian. Is that who you are referring to?
Yes, I'm referring to D. Maxwell Kemian.
Okay.
Senior.
All right. Well, I'm same question to you, same person.
yes, communicating with the former Foreign Minister, Minister Kemera, was rather difficult in that you were not able to put forth a case that you were familiar with. When there was a situation and you had the information to convey, the reception was not as you would prefer. And there was all kinds of difficulty involving his interpretation of what you thought you were clearly saying.
In the conversation with the current Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ghana, who he mentioned that your departure from Ghana was unprecedented, very abrupt, was very strange in the foreign service, the way you left Ghana. Why?
As I indicated in my statement, I was Liberia's first female ambassador to Ghana. There had been a number of able ambassadors who were of the male persuasion. As the first female ambassador, I suspect that in about a few years, my name will be forgotten. But there will know that there was a first female ambassador who was unceremoniously recalled, whose vehicle was denied, who had to go about by public transport, who was Deputy Doyen of West Africa, the West African states, and so had to have, and so a number of colleagues, because there were, if I may just inform, there were 16 female ambassadors in Ghana, in Accra, and who were quite active. So there were a number of our colleagues hosting, having reception for us when they were informed that we were leaving. But because of how I was recalled, I was unable to take leave because I was ordered to leave. And the embassy informed the foreign ministry that I had no authority as of that date. And unfortunately, I was in Monrovia on vacation when that happened. So it was.
What did you do? What did you do to embarrass Liberia or Ghana that happened? It was a very serious discussion in the diplomatic cycle in Ghana, the way you left. It's like you committed a crime, something happened. It was very embarrassing. What did you do? I mean, if it's private, we can do it in committee room. If you think it's sensitive, it has security implications, we can do it in committee room. But I want to know what you did, because if we're now taking you to the UK and you have to leave Ghana like, almost overnight, they are concerned so that you don't do the same thing in the UK.
Thank you, Mr. Senator. What did I do is the question I have pondered myself. I have heard rumors of what I supposedly did, and it was rumor that involved, someone said that she put the president's picture up and put the vice president's picture down. And someone else said that she doesn't like the president. Mr. Senator, I cannot tell you what I did, because at one time, the principal, that is the president, said he had nothing against my ambassadorship. He disavowed himself of any involvement in my recall.
Are you referring to the current president as he or former president as he?
I'm sorry. I'm referring to the former president. President George Weah.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you. He said I got to learn that he had said he had no involvement in my recall. So I do not know what I did, if I did anything.
So who recalled you?
I received a letter from the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister Kemera, in which he advised me that I was being recalled.
Thank you, sir.
If we need more clarity, we'll discuss that in the committee. I did a research on you, and I learned you don't serve the Nigerian embassy in Ethiopia.
Yes.
Is that you?
Yes.
The story goes there were times the Nigerian government didn't pay you, and you sold your shoes to sustain your family. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, Mr. Senator, that is true. Those were the days of our crisis, as you imagine. And that was why I said my going. You sold your shoes?
You sold your shoes?
I have had a few shoes.
Oh, God, I just want to know how many pair of shoes you sold for them. Just the guy I'm going to yeah.
So the question is funny and somehow personal, and the chairman says it's not just for your ears. I deliberately asked that question for the public or for the new ambassador designate to know that the foreign service is not an easy place. I've been privileged to travel to a lot of foreign missions from Nigeria around, and I have this habit, and the two females will tell you, when I go to a country, I make it my duty to pay my respect to our representation in that country. And the ambassador designate to Ghana, there were times when she will invite the whole Liberian delegation, and she would feed us. And then we'll leave her husband, we found out that she hasn't been paid for 2 months. So you feel guilty. How can somebody call you at home, so nice, smiling, and they haven't been paid for 2 months? So I will close by just advising you appear as a very smart, very intelligent man. I hope you have the patience. Being Nigeria's ambassador outside, I hope things can change now. And thanks to the leadership of the Foreign Relations Committee under the chairmanship of Senator DeLong, who frequently engage the Minister of Foreign Affairs, who have a regular meeting with her. And the membership of the committee are very passionate. Unfortunately, we have 2 foreign ministers on the committee. The immediate part pro tem on the committee, I'm on the committees, and the former finance minister. So it's a big committee. And we understand the challenges our people are faced with. So my thing would be to advise you. I really can't say much to the 2 females because, like I said, I've dealt with them. I know that. Old say you're a young man, we need more young people in the field, but you need a old man to practice the man. So, Mr. Chairman, let me take this time to congratulate the 3 of you, and my vote will be determined in the committee room and subsequently on the floor of the Nigerian. Madam Ambassador designate to Ghana. Let's go back on my word. We go to Ghana at a very crucial time. There's general election on the 7th of December. If you are confirmed, the president will be going for the inauguration of the vice president of Liberian delegation will be there. Do you think you may have enough time to prepare for the inauguration and receiving the Liberian delegation if you are confirmed? And if you did not, you will have time to get a new ambassador confirmed to be done.
After this afternoon, I'm going to report to the chairman. I'm grateful to the chairman and the committee on foreign affairs because I wasn't supposed to be here today, but this was the weekend. I put forward this week. I've already started negotiating in Accra. If I'm confirmed, to see if present my letters to President Nana Akufo-Addo. I contacted him. So if it's possible I can get that by next week, I might be able to present my letters. But it's not promised because they are all on campaign now. might not. But then that would be something that would be embarrassing for the inauguration because the president will not be received by an ambassador to be chargé. And Ghanaians do not really like chargé affairs, so I'm hoping that I can make it for to present myself before the president.
Thank you. Senator Snow. Senator Snow asked a question. I'm going to come back on it as I proceed. I will take it that none of you have met the president since your nomination or before your nomination.
Before my nomination, not since.
Use your microphone.
Sorry. I have not met the president following my nomination.
Did you meet him before?
Yes, I did.
Well, I mean, you met him before you nominated him.
Yes.
You spoke to him and he spoke to you about foreign policy vision for where he sent you, correct?
No.
So you're waiting for you to be confirmed before you tell him?
I'm hoping that if this body confirms me, I'll be meeting with the president.
Madam, same question. Touching that microphone.
I met with the president before the nomination, and when he asked me about where I wanted to go, and I told him where I wanted to go, he sent me to went back to Ghana. He's the president elected at the time, and I said, okay.
So in effect, you met with the president before your nomination?
Yes, let me say, the president is someone.
No, you met with the president
Yes,
before?
yes.
He the president someone, I myself with the president.
No, I'm not talking about knowing him, I'm just saying I met with him.
And you have discussed, and he drilled you on his vision, foreign policy vision, especially for Ghana, where you want
We
to
didn't
go.
talk about foreign policy.
Same applies to you, Mr. Yellow.
The answer is in the negative. I'm not going to the president.
So in fact, none of you actually met the president to know what his foreign policy vision will be.
When I met the Minister of Foreign Affairs,
So in essence, none of you have met with the president. Okay. I just want Madam Kennedy, Madam Rule. Okay. The both of you have been ambassadors before, correct?
Yes, sir.
You have been ambassador to Ghana.
Yes.
You also served as head of our embassy in London
Yes, I did.
from 2015 to 2017.
Yes, sir.
Prior to that, you were at the embassy
I was at the embassy when I was
in London
yes.
from 2005 to 2015
Yes.
in a lower rank.
Yes.
Then you went to head the embassy in United Affairs from 2015 to 2017.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
What kind of investment did you bring to this country in those roles? Question.
Well, during the tenure of Ambassador Johnson, as I stated, I was a junior officer, so it was beyond my ability to bring investment before I was chargé d'affaires. When I was chargé d'affaires, we held a number of investment forums, and there were investors that came to Monrovia. Now, the investors came to Monrovia and they had reports that went back. Unfortunately, the period between when they had the feasibility studies to when they actually went back to the UK was a period in which I had left. Which is why when I go back, should I be confirmed and go back to the UK, I will have to investigate what has transpired and what we can continue doing or change?
Did you need to be ambassador to attract investment to the country, or even as a foreign service official in the embassy at your ranking at the time?
I did not need to be an ambassador, but I was able to advise my ambassador because we were foot soldiers. So my ambassador would send me to have discussions with various potential investors, and we'll come back to inform
That is
me.
why I asked from 2005 to 2015. Before 2015 to 2017, when you served as General Affairs.
Yes.
So you want to earn investment opportunity that is a hallmark of yours in this country as a result of your representation of Nigeria out there, unfortunately now. So what convinces me now that you will do it now?
Because I will be, the buck will start with me. And I will have the authority of my office. I will have the advice of my foreign minister. I will be able to put ideas